So today we're gonna paint some really cool Techmarine. I was able to find it on Amazon. I know they're kind of hard to find. I think it's gonna be a really cool addition. So get started.
All right, so now we're just going to do some dark gray dry brushing. We always start with some dark gray to get a bit of an overbrush, and then we're going to do a light dry brushing with matte white or a lighter tone later on.
Al inicio del ser, quiero puedas ver que salimos del suelo y abrimos el mirar al fuego en nuestra mano.
All right, with the dry brushing done, this is looking pretty good. You can see the white really taking over a lot of these surfaces and bringing stuff out to look very nice. This is a really nice way to look at how things go, and it feels really good to get done with dry brushing this quickly and this well.
All right, quick little aside here. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I know we just gonna get back to the painting here, but I'm very happy that y'all took the time out of your day to look at this video and look at how I did my Techmarine. Thank you. Let's get back to the painting.
All right, so let's get this base started, and the base is going to be pretty simple. I'm taking the cutout from the box, really putting just a little few touches with some cork, making the cork the rock. I'm going for a desert base that's kind of really similar to what a lot of my Blood Angels are, and it's going to be pretty nice on the end. We're just going to super glue everything on and then apply some texture in a dry ground texture, but it's not going to be the final because we're just going to just paint over it later on and get it really looking like our own. Alright, so now we have the dry ground diorama effects on there. We also have now the priming done. What's next for this is just get a little dry brushing done and get some more texturing. And by texturing, I mean extenuating the surfaces by just putting some dry brushing of a light gray, then to a warmer white, just to make things kind of pop out. And now we're just going to put some paint over everything, and we're really just using a light dark tone, really watered down. The reason for this is that we just want to build up the color at first. We want to have the darker spots remain darker and the lighter spots still pop out, but it's still not necessarily done, because what we're going to do after putting this brown is start attacking with some pale sand color from AK. Really good color, and we just really want to do it to be a desert area. That's really it. Our next thing here that we're going to do for this base is apply some silver paint. This is broadsword silver. It really comes out pretty shiny and metallic, but also dark, and it really lets the Zenithal highlight that we applied from the dry brushing come out pretty well. And straight from there, we're putting some AK Pale Sand on that we mentioned earlier. This is going to cover pretty neat. It's going to be pretty watered down and give us a nice little highlight of the base that we want to see for sand. Although it's still coming out all right, this is still one of the layers. It's not the final layer that you'll see later on. But even with the pale sand, it's still not done. I still go over with the speed paint. The speed paint I'm using is Pallid Bone. Pallid Bone's going to kind of dry off pretty well and give a nice finish to the sand texture we're going for.
Moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed. But tonight...
And no base is truly done without getting the rim coated in a bit of black. And my black of choice lately has been 2 thin coats matte black. This is a good black finish. It coats on very well and kind of fits how I'm developing my painting style lately to be a bit more covering, a bit more watery, rather than going on glazing over with one stroke.
Alright, so now with the base done and everything, we can actually start attaching our miniature together. The base is really cool. I was going for this kind of desert feel that a lot of my other Blood Angels have, this desert dry earth mix. Although now what I'm kind of focusing more on outside of that is to base paint my bases. Like I'll put the texture on and then I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to kind of add more life to these than just slopping on some texture. And that's kind of where I'm leveling up my basing game to get my miniatures to look that much better.
And right here, we are painting the red. We're going over pretty lightly. I thinned my Mephiston red pretty well for this. The reasoning is I try to kind of build the colors up more and focus on building slowly and just hitting other spots continuously around the model. There's a lot of spots here that are going to hit some red. So as they dry out, we're going to increase the amount of red. So now that we're done with the red pretty much, we're going to go over the weapon part. Right now to start with, we are doing a broadsword silver coat to the weapon pieces, the point, the tip, and the kind of axe part. But the silver is not just localized to just the weapons. We're also going to want to put it on all the grabbers and other parts that we want to have silver, just like the wiring and other technical pieces. So now with the silver kind of put in every spot that we want, what we're going to do next is use the gold. The gold we're using is this hoplite gold. It's a pretty good gold. I'm very excited to be using it on the parts that I want to be gold, and it's really just going to be the rimming of it. So places on the weapon that are going to be gold are just like that area where the emblem is hold, or the bottom of the weapon, like the hilt area, but definitely not the holder. The holder is going to be something else. And now that the gold is a bit done, we're just going to go over the hilt with some slaughter red speed paint. This is going to give a nice off red color away from the red of the armor. It's going to look a bit different. It shows more like a hilt would show. And this is going to really show out pretty well. The slaughter red speed paint is just from Speed Paints from Army Painter. Pretty good slaughter red. I use it for a lot of other miniatures. It has a nice fill and things do look dark, and all it is just covering this dry brushed part of the weapon that we got when we did our dry brushing. And the last thing we do with the weapon is we want to show that the weapon is powered, right? And to do this, we're going to use a blue, and we're only putting the tips of hard blue along the side of the axe, so at the edges. So this is going to be a pretty hard coat tip of blue, all connected. This is just something that will really just be the start. And after we do the tip in blue, what we're going to do next is glaze. And how we glaze is we're going to thin out this blue. The blue of choice that I'm showing here is McCrag blue. We're going to thin it out on the wet palette a bit, and we're going to just take that little thinned coat of paint and just glaze over down the stretch. And what I mean by that is that we're glazing from the hard point. By the hard point is the solid blue effect. So we're starting from the solid blue. We're glazing towards the back, towards the secondary color. What it's going to do is it's going to make the blue look very formative into the silver. It's going to form everything all together. And after several coats of getting the glazing on, we get this nice product at the end where the blue is really showing that it's forming into the silver coat of paint, but not covering completely. So it's giving this nice powered effect to the weapon. We're going to fast forward and go to the transferring. We're going to skip all the minor detailing and everything else because really my faces aren't that special. I don't really want to focus on this face particularly because I don't really feel like I've done anything too insane with the face. I know I kind of brought it up to my standard of faces. There'll be a time where I want to push that more further, but for now, the face is where I want it to be. But where we need to finish up now with this model is the transfers. Now, the transfers are really neat. I'm going to show you how I put on mine. It's a pretty quick apply on. You do just some technical art coats, and then you apply it to the shoulder. You also have to wet the transfer a bit. After wetting the transfer, you take the transfer off. In my case, I use tweezers. With the tweezers, we're going to place it just gently onto the shoulder pad. And over a few coats, it comes on pretty well.
Alright, so now with the miniature done, I'm actually quite proud of this miniature. I think it was very nice to make. It took me about 6 hours to make. I was very into it. Actually, it probably took me longer. I'd say the painting in itself was 6 to 7 hours. The building was like 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3. There's a really special part where I really enjoy how I put a specific head from a separate box onto there because I really like the mohawk from that box. You can get it from a lot of other Primaris boxes. I think they put it into a jump pack Intercessors box. This specific head I got from the Reavers box. I think it kind of fits the aesthetic I'm going for what I think my character under the helmet of Space Marines 2 looks like, kind of. But outside of that, I really like how everything kind of came together. Another thing I was kind of pushing on is making my colors form together, like mixing, but not mixing on like the paints freehand, but when it's already on to the weapons and everything, kind of what you saw there with the blues, I'm kind of merging that blue into the silver to show that power look. And that's something I work on. This is like probably the second or third time I've done that. So I'm trying to grow as a painter by challenging myself to do these different techniques that I see other people do, and then I show you how I did it, how I got it to form, and maybe later on too, these are going to look that much better.